all of them was too happy to be losing and, to just throw races, give them away, whatever you want to call it, when $30,000 on the line. What's going on, everybody? It's been a hell of a week. It's 9:30 on Friday night, and I'm just now doing the video on the second half of the JJ's arm drop in Las Vegas. And the episode played out just like I said it would. I said it would come down between JJ and Jeffrey James. I said that one car from Las Vegas would advance to the third round. There's a lot of things I want to talk about that happened in the show. Things I noticed, things I seen. Some stuff that I don't see how that is how it truly happened. But because it is Friday, and normally I'll video this, Monday after the show, or, even Tuesday evening, and I'll work on it here and there through the week, after work and whatnot. And it's usually uploaded between Thursday and Saturday. And since this one is being filmed a lot later, I will probably not have near as much editing in it, so bear with me. But let's jump straight into the episode. First thing I want to say, just right out of the beginning, is that is the first time that I have ever seen them race past, a certain time and the sun come up. They raced clear on into the next morning, and I know that OKC says that they have the 3 o'clock curfew or whatever it is, but that didn't used to be like that back in the day when the show first started, the first couple of seasons. But out of all 150, 60 episodes between 3 shows, that's the first time I've ever seen that happen. All right, let's talk about the races that happened. And as you know, that JJ has always said Memphis won't race each other on the show. With it being that type of a event, they didn't have a choice. And I will say this: out of every show that I have seen them race, every episode, every out of town, whatever, when they raced each other, the whole second half of the arm drop, after the first round when most everybody else got kicked out, and it was just Memphis on Memphis, it was a lot better racing. Every one of them was more consistent, a lot closer races, and, it was just more enjoyable to watch. I mean, it wasn't just a complete blowout or somebody smoked the tires or, whatever the case might be, but all the races was, closer, better. You knew the people racing. You have created a, relationship or whatever you want to say with the cast of the show. So you have somebody that you're rooting for versus when they just race random people from random cities and you don't know who it is. So, that was something that I think that, JJ is stuck in his ways as far as the rules he has and stuff. And I mean, I understand it. He's making his own voice in, this world. And I respect him for it. But, you will run out of people to race eventually. And I'm not saying, race each other every weekend or even have a list. But, grudge race or something. You can grudge race and still be the family that they want to be. The first actual race I want to talk about is when JJ and Zip Tie had to race Doughboy. And, it was back and forth. They was talking about, they's going to do this and they's going to do that before they actually got in the cars. And JJ said, not going to cheat for anybody or give anybody anything because that's not actually teaching them anything. They're just setting them up for failure. And that statement is 100% true. And then you see Doughboy talking, right after JJ got done saying that. You see Doughboy talking, and he's saying that, yeah, I'm going to steal the head. That's the only chance I have against him, and, stuff like that. But, man, Trisha pulled him in, and she didn't even get her arm started moving up. And you see Doughboy leave, and it ain't but a split second that JJ leaves, and that is the biggest jump on both sides that I have ever seen. Now, as soon as JJ seen him leave, he took off. But, I mean, I don't even think the trans brake ever engaged. You know, Doughboy's Corey, he had it on big tires this week, and it did seem like it was moving down the road faster. So experience won that race, and that's all there is to it. The next race I want to talk about is when Jason Carpenter Carp raced Dennis Bailey. If anybody was going to steal the hit, Carp executed it perfectly. There is a, you know, you pull a car in, and while you're sitting there holding a trans brake, you know, you're just getting, you know, more and more anxious and ready, and, you know, reaction times, I mean, your blood's pumping so fast. And when Carp stole the hit, Bailey didn't even pay attention to the flagger. He seen that car move, he let go of the brake and took off. But go back and watch it. As far as stealing a hit, I feel like that was executed better than I have seen it done on the show yet. But he turned around and was going to steal the hit on Old Heavy. And, you know, every time Old Heavy wins, you hear them all get out saying, "You don't bet against Old Heavy, you don't bet against Old Heavy." And, you know, that truck wins a lot of races. I don't know why the truck works. I just, it's beyond me. You know, the truck is, you know, a heavier truck. I mean, it's not what they say it is by any stretch of the, you know, truth. But the truck hooks and goes. And the truck's fast. I mean, the truck is insane fast on small tires. And, you know, Carp knew that he had to jump to be able to outrun Old Heavy, but he jumped too early. JJ knew that he was already in Carp's head, I think. And, you know, Carp left way too early. JJ knew that he was going to set on him before he ever even got up there. He knew that if they did wait till the arms went down, he had enough power to outrun Carp anyway. So, you know, he pulled up there level-headed, you know, cool-headed, and, you know, done his job, executed it perfectly, and it paid off. He won. In the semifinals, when JJ put Tricia in zip tie and she raced Jeffrey James. And, you know, from the beginning of this season, since he got that split bumper Camaro, Jeffrey James has been one of the faster guys on the show. And Tricia almost run him down. But I'll tell you this. A lot of the times, you know, most 90% of these cars, or all of them that was there, you know, during JJ's arm drop, is nitrous cars. And nitrous cars blow some beautiful flames. And if you go back and watch, you know, here and there, some, but 90% of the time you don't even see the cars shooting any flames. And it kind of, and I hate to say this because I don't want people running around saying that I did say it, you know, but it makes you wonder if, since Memphis was racing Memphis, they didn't spray them, run them on motor, and split the money, you know, anyway. You know, I heard JJ say one time that, you know, if Memphis would have won, they was going to go back to Memphis and split the money up. You know, and I'm going to kind of jump to the end of the episode here. If that was really $30,000 on the line that wasn't being split, you know, they was awful, you know, cool-headed and, you know, just joking around about it when he let Tricia drive Old Heavy against Jeffrey in the end. I mean, she had done lost every race that she had raced during the whole JJ's arm drop. So, you know, that was a big roll of the dice if they wasn't planning on splitting the money anyway, because her win-loss record wasn't very good at all. And if $30,000 is really up for grabs, I feel like the way JJ is about money, I mean, he's getting, you know, $20 bets and $40 bets on the side. He's not going to give $30,000 away by letting someone who's lost every race get in the car and chance it for the money. I feel like they had already decided that they was going to split the money. That's just my opinion. I don't know that to be fact, but that's how I truly feel about it. I mean, $30,000 is a lot of money. That's not something you want to gamble with and take a chance on losing. But something Carp did do when he rolled back up after he made the solo pass and JJ sat there in Old Heavy. As soon as he got back up, I mean, he knew that he had, you know, made the whole pass by himself, and that, you know, they was going to be talking about him or whatever. And he got out saying the same thing that they always say, "You don't bet on Old Heavy." And I thought that was funny. I mean, he come back in good spirits by just losing. And, you know, JJ's always said, you know, and this is quoting him saying, if you let somebody leave on you and you run them down, that makes you feel like you got hair on your toes, which, you know, saying you big, you bad. So, you know, I mean, I kind of thought JJ might try to run him down, especially if the money was already said it was going to be divided. But all of them was too happy to be losing, and to just throw races, give them away, whatever you want to call it, when $30,000 on the line. One more thing that I want to say, and this is for the previews for next week, and they race 918 Motorsports or something next week. It's another Memphis group, and apparently there's already been some muddy waters and stuff between them. Same thing happened with OKC several years ago. There was another group of racers in OKC who thought that they was faster than the 405, the guys that we see on the show now, and they raced each other, and of course the main guys won, and I feel like the same outcome will be this week against the Memphis versus Memphis guys. So I don't know, time will tell. I don't see where it would change now. It's been the exact same way for 2 seasons. Memphis has won every race for the most part that they've raced. So there's not been any controversy. There's not been any losses. They're just simply racing slower cars, and they win every race. But it did show a wreck at the end of the episode, and I predicted when Monza was going to do it, and man, that video took off. It blew up. Probably, I haven't looked, but I'm gonna say 300,000 or 400,000 views at least, and everybody said I was wrong, and then everybody come back and told me that I was right. Obviously, as we've seen, I was. Well, that is Kenneth Gully and the Bounty Hunter that you see wreck next week. The S10 does get hit. It looks like it's a Mustang, I think, that hits him. So there you go. If you are wondering who the wreck is, it is Kenneth Gully in the S10. He does wreck, and I don't know the extent of it, but the truck does get wrecked next week. That's all that I seen happen on the episode Monday night that I feel like needs talked about. It's kind of just the same thing happening every week, but when they raced each other, it was a lot better races, and that ought to say something. But that's all that I have to say about the JJ's arm drop in Las Vegas. And you go back and watch it now that I made this video, and look at the stuff I've talked about, and you tell me what you think. After you go back and watch it, anything that you want to say about what I've said, drop it in the comments or send it to the email address that's on the screen. Also, anything you want me to know, say, do have, is the same routine as every week, guys. Email address, my P.O. box is also on the screen. Giveaways are still going. Shirts are still for sale. Y'all know the routine if you have watched the channel before this video. So, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you again next week. We'll talk about when Memphis races Memphis. Maybe they'll do some kind of grudge racing. I don't know. I'd love to see it. I know this season's already in the books, but I know they're watching my video, so there's food for thought for season 3 of Memphis Street Outlaws. I know there can't be very many episodes left in this season, so it's food for thought. And like I've said a million times, I'm not here to hurt anybody. It's strictly my opinions. If it's not my opinions, I tell you where I got the information. So thanks for watching, Godspeed, and I'll see you in the next video.